Hello and a very warm welcome to Yatrikan English. Today we have a very special guest, none other than the Twitter personality who gives us threads and facts about India as well as the international relations. Vineet Nayak, who is probably known as the star of Twitter, named as Biku Matre. Namaste, Biku ji. Thank you so
Namaste,
much
namaste.
for accepting our interview, and your contribution is needed for Yatrikan as well. Thank you so much for this interview, and I want to discuss a very important topic with you. What is the BBC controversy which is going on in recent days? What is happening actually?
Okay, first of all, let me thank you. It's my pleasure to be here with you on your channel. Now, coming to your question regarding the BBC controversy, as you said and as you started, there itself is the answer that it is the controversy. And controversies are created nowadays in present social media days. This is nothing else but a hit job on PM Modi ji. If you ask me why, the reason is very simple. Think of 2024 elections. The same things that started in US also before Trump re-election. So in 2020, when Trump was supposed to go for re-election, before that there were particular movements like Black Lives Matter and BLM movement and all. So accordingly, they were used to defame Trump to, for his character assassination. The same thing is now happening in Bharat. That is now PM Modi is on the target. He was on
Okay.
target in 2019 also, but he overrode all the particular agendas, all the propagandas, and he came with a brute majority more than 2014. So this was a basically you can say it was a shock to these particular people, to this cabal who doesn't want Modi ji to come. Now, why they don't want Modi to come back again in 2024? The answer is very simple. Right now, Bharat has come up big on the world stage. If you are observing the geopolitics, the world is no more bipolar, it is no more unipolar. It has become multipolar. And in this multipolar world, there is only one central pole, which is right now achieved by Bharat.
Okay.
Right now, we are on talking terms and in very good terms with NATO. At the same time, we are with Russia and China in BRICS and SCO. I don't think any particular leader has been able to maintain such a fine balance. Then at the same time, Bharat is coming up as an economic superpower. We have already outthrown UK from the first five list. We are at number 5 right now. It is anticipated by 2030 will rise to number 3. The entire production line from China is being shifted right now to Bharat. In service sector, we were always good and we are developing. Our exports are increasing. We are entering in the arms sector also. We are entering in the pharma sector also. Like we are now becoming the pharmacy of the world. So definitely Modi ji's efforts to make Bharat as Vishwaguru are hurting someone. And who are those people? They are basically the arms lobby, pharma lobby, and oil lobby. So these three particular lobbies, they are getting badly affected because of PM Modi ji, and that is why now, since we are just 1 year away from the next general election in 2024, these propagandas have started in a big way. So this is a reason why the controversy is created.
Okay. Okay. So you are saying that it is all due to the elections which is coming in the next year.
100%. 100%. They just
Okay. Okay.
want
Okay.
to defame Modi ji. They just want to
Okay.
go into his character assassination. They want
Hmm.
his particular relations with Arabs to be affected with such
Hmm.
controversies. They are not reminding the Indians. They are not
Okay.
reminding the Bhartiyas what had happened in Godhra. They are
Hmm.
reminding the Arabs that basically he is not a trustworthy person. He is a Hindu leader and he's a fanatic Hindu. He has massacred Muslims, blah, 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 blah. So basically,
Okay.
because Arab world right now occupies the center stage in our geopolitical strategies.
Got it.
And at
Okay.
the same
Okay.
time, sir, if you just look at it very minutely, it is not only a hit job on PM Modi, it is a hit job on UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak also. Because as you know that UK is one country who can be called as the most racist country in the world. They are not able to digest the fact that a person of Indian origin is right now ruling the whites. So
Okay.
the country which was actually ruled by them for more than 200 years, now a person of origin from that country has become the prime minister. So they want to affect his image also. At the same time, the upcoming free trade agreement between Bharat and UK, that is also on target with them. So
Hmm.
it's a double-edged sword which is used to hit two leaders at a time. But obviously,
Okay.
prime target is PM Modi ji.
Acha, acha, acha. So, what was the reaction of the Congress? Because since now PM Modi is not a Gujarat PM or the BJP leader, now he's the face of the Bharat. So, obviously, he's the face of the Bharat, representing the Bharat in other parts of the world also. But Congress seems to be supporting this move by the BBC. They are saying, why ban? Why this controversy? They are not against those such things. They are supporting. They seems to be having supporting this kind of a move. What is your take on that, sir?
Sir, first important thing, how many times you have seen Congress taking a strong stand in favor of our own country called Bharat? Congress was the one who converted Bharat into India. And I'm choosing my words very carefully. We were not India, we were Bharat. That was our actual identity. And has Congress worked ever to upgrade or to uphold our identity? The answer is no. Everyone knows about the secret MOU signed by the Gandhi family with China's CCP. Everyone knows
Hmm.
about that secret MOU, but no one knows about the conditions and terms of that particular MOU, not even the senior Congress leaders. The Congress, which went on to the extent of handing over Siachen to Pakistan to solve Kashmir issue, to what extent is the reliability of that Congress? Now, before I go ahead, to your question only, like in answer to your question, let me just tell you the people who are behind this BBC documentary, which has created a controversy. First person is Alishan Zafri. This Alishan Zafri is actually a person who is working for the fake news peddler, The Wire, the ultra leftist portal called The Wire, as well as the Karwa. Okay. Second person is Hartosh Singh Bal. Hartosh Singh Bal is again political editor of the propaganda news website that is the Karwa. How many times this Karwa has been exposed, including in the Supreme Court? Everyone knows that. The third character is Niranjan Mukhopadhyay. Again, he is connected to The Wire and the Karwa. Now, let me tell you one more thing. This Ehsan Zafri and Niranjan Mukhopadhyay, which I mentioned, they are also get paid from a money laundering network. They call themselves as press, but actually it is a money laundering network that is the News Click. And if you remember, just a few months back or a year back, Home Minister Amit Shah ji had actually, what we say, cracked a whip on these money laundering NGOs as well as
Exactly.
the news sites. And the News Click is one of them. The fourth personality involved in behind this controversy is Arundhati Roy. And do I need to speak about the credibility of that woman? She is an ultra leftist, the supporters of all the militants, the terrorists, and she was the first one to accuse that Indian army they commit rapes in Kashmir. The army जिन्होंने कभी अपने जान की कभी उन्होंने कीमत नहीं की. If you remember the floods, the devastating floods which had come in Kashmir, the Srinagar was actually deserted by each and every politician and by bureaucrat, and they had left people to die. And in those floods, Indian army they like they put their lives in danger to save the common citizen. And this lady goes to the extent of accusing them of being rapists. She has been an active supporter of Naxalites. She has been an active supporter of all open Naxals to fuel Naxalites. Next person involved is Jeffrey Christophe. Again, he is connected with The Wire via the Indian American Muslim Council. Now, what is Indian American Muslim Council? They are trying their level best to convince the world to put sanctions on India. For what reason?
Hmm.
There is no reason. But according to them, there is violation of civil liberties and civil rights in Bharat. And since when this particular violation has started? After 2014, when PM Modi ji came to power. And the next person, the biggest person behind this documentary is Jack Straw. Again, this particular person is known as a divisive kind of a force in European countries also. He was involved in breaking down the democracies in many countries. And which particular news site he again chose to give the interview with respect to this BBC documentary? It was again The Wire.
Okay.
Okay.
So it seems like the Congress is backing all these kind of activities.
Exactly. Now let me just go ahead and give you one more shocking information. This shocking information is who funds these propagandist websites as well as news portals as well as the press, like the Karwa, Alt News, the famous fact checkers, The Wire, Article 14. Who funds them? They are funded by IPSMF. IPSMF is Independent and Public Spirited Media Foundation, which is registered in Bangalore. Okay? And now, hold your heart. Who funds IPSMF? The major funder is Rohini Nilekani. Rohini Nilekani, who is wife of Nandan Nilekani of you know what. Now, Nandan Nilekani is connected with Infosys. Narayana Murthy is connected with Infosys. And these people are the founders of The Wire. And Nandan Nilekani's wife, Rohini Nilekani, she has donated 30 crores to this particular IPSMF. Okay? And now, do I need to remind anyone that Nandan Nilekani had contested 2014 general election for Lok Sabha on Congress ticket?
Exactly.
Sir, understand one thing. Leftists know one thing, that they cannot come to power in Bharat because it's a failed ideology. So they use Congress. They use Congress basically as their front. Congress is bothered only with one thing, that is the power. And just tap out your sources, just go through certain news articles. See, the normal logic says to prepare this kind of a documentary, you need at least 4 to 6 months. Exactly before 6 months, Rahul Gandhi was in UK and he was meeting some people from BBC. Exactly. After that, the work started on that. Then the documentary was made and it was released. So this entire cabal is working together only with one reason, to throw out as Prime Minister. They know that even if supposing Modi is assassinated, what will happen? It will run in their favor only. Supposing just what we say, an extreme possibility, these people go to the extent of assassinating Modi ji. What will happen? BJP will get overwhelming sympathy wave. They will again come back to power, but that's okay with Congress because that time BJP will be led by some other leader other than Modi ji, who might be invincible, but Modi ji is someone who is invincible, who cannot compromise with anyone, and he cannot be made to compromise because he doesn't have that particular background. So, Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, blackmail, kuch bhi karo, it is not going to affect Modi ji, but it may affect some other BJP leader. So, this is an entire particular target. It is nothing else but election 2024 agenda. That's it.
Okay. What is the international response from the leaders? Because the question has been raised in the UK Parliament also and in the US Parliament also. So, what is the international response for this documentary, Bikuji?
It was raised in UK Parliament, but that particular MP, who is actually origin from Pakistan, he was made to shut up by Rishi Sunak itself. He clearly said that we don't have any such particular proofs, and this particular documentary seems to be a propaganda. Second, in US is right now in typical apna desi language, US bauchlaya hua hai. because
Okay.
Bharat is no more listening, Bharat is no more dancing to their tunes. After Ukraine offensive, after Russian offensive in Ukraine, Bharat has not stopped importing oil or any other particular materials from Russia. The matter is basically stuck on oil. When EU and US, along with NATO, were giving us advices, don't be on the wrong side of the history. We said that history will prove that which is the correct side and wrong side. But Bharat
Okay.
has got every right to take care of its own interest. And we continued with the imports, and right now our imports are the highest from Russia. And in fact, Russia is our number one oil supplier right now. So definitely these things are not going well with US administration. Now, who is running US administration? Mr. Joe Biden. People think it is Joe Biden, but it's not Joe Biden. It is the lobby, because
Okay.
Democrats are nothing short of being leftist. So again, the point entirely comes down to the leftist. So if we get some kind of reaction from any MP from US or UK, that doesn't make any difference. And secondly, the biggest important point, Supreme Court of India has already given clean chit to PM Modi.
Okay.
PM Modi never ran away from any inquiry.
Mm.
When these particular inquiries were held, at that time, the CBI, IB, NIA, every investigative agency was under UPA government. They
Exactly.
made right. They made Modi ji sit for the interrogation for 12 continuous hours without offering him any food or snacks or anything. And in fact, once when he was offered tea, he said that I have got my own thermos. I don't want your hospitality. So for 12 hours, when he was grilled for days, after that also, if that CBI or IB or NIA, which was working under UPA government, and CBI at that time was famously called by the Supreme Court itself a caged parrot. So whatever the government says, they had to do that. And in spite of that, they could not present any single evidence against Modi ji. Then later on the case reached to Supreme Court. बहुत सारी नौटंकी हो गई. What happened? Supreme Court gave the clean sheet. Am I right? So,
Yes.
do you doubt our judiciary? That judiciary which gave 6 months, 1 year hearing to even a known terrorist like Ajmal Kasab, there was no need for hearing also. He was there on camera shooting people. But in spite of that, our judiciary is that every particular chance has to be given to the convict or to the accused to prove his innocence. So that judiciary has given clean sheet to PM Modi with respect to these particular riots. And that is the biggest advantage for us to counter any narrative.
Okay. 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 So
And
what is the
in
way
fact,
forward, Bikuji? Because Modi ji is now the Prime Minister of India and he is the face of the Bharat too. And this kind of documentary is not at all accepted by the Indians as well. So what is the way forward, Bikuji?
first important thing, let me be very honest. BJP media cell is not up to the mark.
Okay.
They don't know how to burst narratives. In fact, I don't know why sometimes I feel that people like us who love our country and who want to see our country to grow, we soul-heartedly, without any condition, we are offering support to PM Modi ji. We try our level best to burst these particular agendas. What are BJP media cell doing other than posting memes? You have to come out with the facts. Come on, the narrative has to be broken with the facts. I remember just yesterday itself, I think I had tweeted one thing, that already this BBC propaganda, this particular narrative has been busted. All the particular facts are in public. But I would just like to ask one question, that even that BBC documentary says that these particular riots for which they are blaming PM Modi, that was a reaction. So if you blame a particular reaction for something, why can't you talk about the action? Why can't BJP bring out these particular facts, that one particular train was stopped 2 kilometers before Godhra station, then that one particular compartment which was carrying some 60 car sevak, that was separated from the other compartments. The doors were locked, the windows were locked, the kerosene petrol was poured in, and 60 people were burnt alive, including women and children. Why nobody from BJP is talking about this action? And
Okay.
if such particular gruesome action is taken by someone, then if there is some reaction, you can't expect that reaction to be a peace march. Gujarat had been sitting on a volcano of riots right from independence. And Gujarat was ruled right from 1947 to 1995 only by Congress government. And in every riot, it had so happened that Hindus were massacred. And when Hindus tried to unite to counter the attack on them, at that time, army used to be sent in and the Hindus were crushed down. So it was a free hand given only to one particular community, and the other community was suffering. And now, on the top of it, if such particular thing happens, the reaction was violent. It was too violent. But once that volcano has burst, आपको पता है कि जब volcano burst होता है, उसके बाद lava निकलता है. That lava creates a lot of damage, correct? But once that lava cools down, that particular land becomes the most fertile land with minerals and for agriculture. And right now, just go to Gujarat and see what is the position over there. The business are flourishing, the common man is happy, and most importantly, now there are no riots. I remember one particular speech of PM Modi ji during 2018 Gujarat election. He had said, गुजरात के मेरे जो बच्चे हैं वो अभी यंग है, अभी वो पढ़ते हैं, बहुत आगे जाते हैं. Now they are very well versed with English also. But they have heard one particular word and seen the meaning in the dictionary, but not in reality. And that one word is curfew. एक वक्त था गुजरात में, there was not a single city or region which was not under curfew at least once in 15 days. And now, since 2002 till date, Gujarat has not seen any curfew. So you can't blame Modi for something. You have to go in the past, see the background. If you are blaming the reaction, first tell what was the action for which you got the reaction. Only reaction can be decided to be wrong. I'm not justifying any violence. I'm not justifying any violence, but if there is violence, we have to understand what was the reason behind that violence. If you are protesting against something and it's a violent protest, that is not acceptable, because the constitution gives you right to protest, not for violent protest. But if you are into some violent act because some injustice, some wrongdoing has been happening with you, and in that case, if you are what we say the repulsive to give reaction to that particular action, then action as well as reaction, they both have to be termed wrong, not only one side. So it's a complete fake agenda. And in fact, मुझे ऐसा एक गट फीलिंग है, जहां तक मैं ऑब्जर्व करता हूं साइलेंटली, such controversies are going to come up. There are many more to come. The second hit job has now happened with Adani. So we'll talk about that particular hit job later in some other session. Why Adani is being targeted now. So like ऐसे बहुत से hit jobs are likely to come till 2024 elections. But one thing I'm very confident, the more number of such hit jobs on PM Modi these leftists come up with, it's going to help Modi more. It's going to help Modi more, because you, sir, you are also on the social media, you are actually on the field, you are covering different areas. You know there are two type of right wingers. One is nationalist and other is hyper right winger. Now these hyper right wingers who were on the verge of, they don't understand it. Now PM Modi is PM of the nation. He has to take everyone along. He has to build a nation. And nation is built up with all the religions, with all the castes, with all the communities, and he has to take everyone along. So you cannot expect a Hindu Modi to react like PM Modi. But by heart, he is a hardcore Hindu. By heart, he is a proud follower of our Dharma, our Sanatana Dharma, as well as our rich culture of Bharat. And he has actually proved that over the period of time. अभी परसों बीच में बात निकली थी कि उन्होंने अजमेर शरीफ के दरगाह पे चद्दर बेची. तो ये हाइपर हिंदूज का हर बार रिएक्शन होता है, मौलाना मोदी, मौलाना मोदी. अब कल क्या हुआ? when Mughal Garden was renamed as Amrit Udyan. Now he's no more Maulana Modi. So he knows how to deal with the narratives. He very
Exactly.
well knows how to deal with the narratives. And secondly, he has a character. Like, he cannot be blamed, or as I said, he cannot be blackmailed for anything. And that is his the basic characteristic.
Thank you so much, Bikuji, for your wonderful time and wonderful interview. So we will get publish this, and yet we are starting back our Yatrigan English in a full speed. People, we need your support as well as ever. Thank you so much, everyone. We will meet in yet another good show. Thank you, Bikuji, for your time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.